Hi everybody, and welcome to the Audio Production Town Hall. So each month we're going to be coming to you and discussing various topics related to the audio production field. So my name is Eric Berzins. I'm the course director of Project and Portfolio 6. And with me today is Jason Strawley. He is the assistant dub stage manager in our film dubbing stage. He's also a graduate of, I believe, our recording arts program and our audio production program. So he has a lot of experience with production audio, which is what today's topic is about. So basically, we want to talk to you guys about doing location audio for independent film and other visual productions, which isn't something that we discuss a lot in the program, but there is a lot of work out there doing that. So Jason, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience and how you got into doing location sound?
Yeah, actually, I honestly don't really quite remember how I got into it. It was one of those, I was in recording arts, wanted to be a music producer, and some friends that were in the film department were like, hey, could you come do the sound for our movie? And it's just like, oh, how hard can it be? Like, I can track a band, why couldn't I track some actors? So just kind of stumbled into it by accident. Didn't like it the first time, wanted to be back in the studio, but quickly learned that there's money to be made doing production sound. So kind of changed my tune on it a little bit and studied up and got better at it.
My background was kind of similar. I started out being interested in audio post-production. That was the main thing I was interested in. I had a friend who focused on production sound, production sound mixer. He had need for a boom operator on a shoot who basically said, I'm dragging you out of your pod, as he referred to post people as pod people. He said, you're going to come out and help me on this. So I ended up working with him for a number of years on various things. And like I said, I found that it's a challenging and it's a different animal than working in a studio. You're still working with microphones, you're still working with mixers and recorders, and all the gear is the same. It's just compacted. You're wearing it in many cases, and you've got to be able to integrate into a film crew, which is not audio centric, right? So that's probably the main thing to warn people, if there's any warning to be made about this type of career. It's that in a studio environment, we have a place called literally the audio temple, right? Its sole function is to capture the best sound possible. When you're recording on a film set, it's the opposite, right? Everything is working against you. You have to be able to record good sound when everything is designed to make your life difficult toward achieving that goal. But it is an interesting challenge, and it can be an interesting career. You worked on all sorts of different things. I'm sure you started out with more lower budget productions. I mean, most people do. Usually jump into the biggest budget projects.
Yeah, low budget indie film and like local commercials and different training videos and web content and stuff like that. But all that work is out there, so definitely don't turn my nose up at it.
Content now than ever, but a lot of it sounds terrible. Anybody can record video on their phone or on their laptop. We're probably using a laptop today to record some things. But a lot of these videos don't sound very good. So even if you don't see yourself working in location sound as a career, video is necessary for just about everything these days. And a lot of people don't know how to make those videos sound good on the set. Getting good sound from the get-go makes post-production that much easier, right? You're not having to do as much cleanup, you're not having to do as much to make it sound good if you've got somebody there who knows what they're doing and can record good sound. There is a culture shift. Like I said, working in a film crew, you've got to know a lot of the lingo. It's not quite the same as working in a recording studio. And we're going to kind of talk about that a little bit today, because we're going to do essentially a simulated film shoot within a very small scale. So in this case, we've got our laptop camera. I'm playing the DP, I'm playing the director, I'm playing all sorts of different people here. But we've got our laptop camera set up, pointed at Jason. He's framed up on this laptop screen.
Somewhat.
He's standing in as our talent. I believe we are going to have some other talent shortly, but I just want to kind of go over the gear a little bit first. So what we're going to be just demonstrating today is called double system sound recording, which is we're not going to be sending audio to the camera, which in this case is our laptop. Single system would mean you're actually sending audio to the camera while it's recording, and then you've also potentially got a backup recorder of your own. What we're going to be demonstrating is a simple double system setup where you guys all have a Zoom H5 in your launch box. You could use that to do basic sound for video, double system, right? You've got the Zoom recorder as your actual recorder, and you could have a separate camera like a laptop or a cell phone or whatever. But to make that work, you need some way to synchronize it. And that's where these come in. This is what I like to refer to as a dumb slate as opposed to a smart slate. A smart slate is a digital device that has time code on it, and it's got a time code generator and reader. This doesn't have that. This cost about $20. So again, we're going for low budget. If you have no budget, then you can use a book, but you need something, or your hand. Right? I guess that's even better. You don't have to have a book, right? You need something that can create some kind of a loud transient sound that is easy to sync up, right? If you look at the waveform, you can see a big spike. You can look for the exact frame of video where that event happened, and you can line up the audio with that video event, and boom, now your audio is back in sync with the video. So that's traditionally how most movies were made. Like, the next piece of gear I want to show you is something that should be familiar to you. We've got a Zoom H5, which is going to be our recorder. So we've got it rigged up here to hopefully be able to send audio to you. And you'll notice that I've got a mic plugged into it. You guys hopefully are aware that your Zoom H5 can input XLR microphones. You don't have to use the built-in XY mics. If you have no other option, you could use the XY mics as your overhead boom microphone. You could do it that way. You could actually mount the H5 to a pole of some kind. What you'll notice here is we've got a very low budget boom pole. A professional boom pole would cost you around $200 at a minimum, possibly $1,000 depending on the model. This is a painter's pole. This costs about 20 bucks from Home Depot, and it has an adapter connected to it that will adapt it to 3/8. So 3/8 is the standard threading size for connecting suspensions for field microphones. So we've got a shotgun microphone plugged in here. This is a, you grab it, hold, I'll try to take off the wind protection really quick. So this is a shotgun mic, which for production sound is probably the most commonly used microphone because it has the narrowest pickup pattern. It's ported along the side because basically it's an interference tube which allows direct sound to travel down unimpeded, but then off-axis sound gets delayed and gets canceled out. So it's very directional. Some people like to call it a zoom microphone, like it's able to magically zoom in on the talent. It doesn't work that way, but it will enable you to cancel out a lot of unwanted sound that you might have in your environment, especially outside. Inside, you don't always need a shotgun microphone, but it's, like I said, it's the most commonly used microphone for film sound, so that's what we're going to go ahead and use.
That's the sound our ears are used to hearing. Even if it's not totally necessary, there's a certain coloration that we expect.
I'm going to go ahead and say action to you. So go ahead and read your lines.
This room looks pretty secure. If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors. Won't be long before those things will be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now. They're afraid of fire, I found that out.
Good, cut. Fine. That's all right. So I think you guys got a good understanding of the basics. I mean, there's more to it, obviously. You kind of have to learn as you go. But this was a pretty good overview of, the basic equipment. You need a recorder. You need a slate. You need some kind of a microphone for overhead booming. If you don't need wireless, then it's a lot less money. If the shot enables you to just run a cabled lavalier and hide it from camera, or if it's like this where it is on camera and we know that that it's not fiction, then the mic can be shown in plain sight, and it's a lot easier in that case. But again, this relates to any kind of video production that you might want to do for social media, YouTube, major feature films, TV shows, you name it. Somebody's got to record sound for all of those videos. So there's definitely work out there doing it. So it's good to know something about it. So I think that's about it for us.